nobody ever cared that I was like visiting this cool town and taking pictures of this really great architecture. They only cared when like I was freezing to death and had to shit in a bucket.
That's how I ended up being Cowboy Jack. And I mean, of course, my real name is John, but Cowboy John sounded super lame, so we went with Jack.
I literally ran myself over with my vehicle 2 years ago. Literally the dumbest thing I've ever done.
It's security camera footage from above the garage door.
There's been a lot recorded, but none of them made the final cut. Like, we had a really fun time at a trampoline park where it was this thing called walk the wall. You're supposed to jump off of this wall, bounce twice, and then jump up another wall. Well, my big self didn't make it up the second wall, and my natural instinct was to kick my feet, and I totally just shattered my big toe. My hairline is much less receded in real life.
That's the perfect way to open up the episode. Welcome back to
that to me all the time.
Welcome back to the He's Wrong, She's Right podcast. I'm Andrew. This is Nona, and today we are joined with John Havard from Cowboy Jack Show on YouTube and everywhere else. Where else?
A lot of places. We're Amazon, Hulu, Tubi, Yippee TV, Cadoodle TV, Happy Kids. Like, if it's a streaming service stuff. Huh?
I said you're getting way out of the realm of what I know.
I know. You got to have people this tall to understand all these things.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on the show. I know it was kind of short notice. We're trying to film with as many guests as possible, you know, and when I reach out to people, they're like, oh, I'm busy right now, or I've got this, or their schedule just completely conflicts with ours entirely. And it's like the hardest thing. And last night I messaged you and you're like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow. And I was like, okay.
That is the rudest way to thank him for coming on the show. Oh, you've got nothing else going on in your life. Thanks for coming on.
In his defense, as a fellow creator, like, I understand how hard it is to keep up with churning out content constantly. And so whenever I get an opportunity like this, I try to make it a point to make myself available, just because, man, people go crazy to try and accommodate us. And I like to try to keep the level playing field for all of us.
What's your primary age demographic for your show?
I would say the sweet spot is really like 4 to 8.
Okay.
I mean, we do have fans that are older and everything. It just depends. Like, a lot of times if family has kids, you know, ranging from, you know, like that 3 to 12, we can get all of them. Cause I mean, we don't talk down to kids or anything. So we try to make it engaging for everybody.
Have you showed it to Cash?
I think I did years ago when I started working with him on Google Workspace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember, but that was also, I think, before they had their iPads. Okay. So he's probably just long forgotten.
We'll show it to him again today.
Do you have any war content?
Yeah, Cowboy Jack Goes to War was a really big. No, I'm just kidding.
His two huge things that he loves are World War II and now all things space.
Now, we did the Lone Star Flight Museum here in Texas. We filmed a couple of really cool World War II airplanes, and that was fun, but it kind of came out long. I mean, look, Cowboy Jack's an acquired taste. It's not for everybody.
No, Cash would probably love that.
Yeah, he has the attention span when it's something that he's actually interested in. Like, he will sit there. He watched Interstellar again with me last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
and he chose it.
Just sit there
that was
the
the
whole
third
time
watching it.
Staring right at it. Never looks away, doesn't move, doesn't have to go to the bathroom. Yeah.
See, it's funny. Like, we film all kinds of places all over the place. And the funny thing to me is, like, I think something is crazy interesting. Like, oh my gosh, this is going to go nuts. And nobody watches it. Aww. And then we do something as simple as, like, take my dog to Pet Supplies Plus and give him a bath. And it flies. Like, you just never know what's going to be interesting for the mass populace. But, you know.
We've had a couple guests, and I mean, other people that I know as well, not just guests of ours, but just people that I've talked to or other content creators, and they say the same thing. Casey Roman just said the same thing. She's like, she did a whole van life thing where she took off from Wilmington and drove around the country for a couple months and then came back, was like homeless for a while. She used to be a news anchor. Jeez. And all this stuff transpired. She's like, nobody ever cared that I was like visiting this cool town and taking pictures of this really great architecture. They only cared when like I was freezing to death and had to shit in a bucket.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, like we film with like I said, something simple like getting the dog groomed or making a snow cone. And I mean, I'm not saying those things are bad. I think they're amazing and we film them for a purpose. But at the same time, like we'll go film with Life Flight, or what most people know as Care Flight, and get to see inside, outside of a medical helicopter and meet a flight nurse and all these cool things. And it just doesn't get the same, activity.
I wonder if it's the same kind of effect. Like Cash loves going to all the different war museums, and we have the battleship here in downtown Wilmington. He loves going to them, but he like runs through it. He doesn't really care so much about what each thing is or what the history is. He's just like, I want to be here and I want to go through all the halls and go into all the doors and everything. And just,
yeah, well, then it becomes like an exploratory adventure, right? Yeah. You're not taking in the deep cuts. Yeah. I'm sure once he gets a little older, he'll want to go and like actually like say, okay, this is a bunk. This is where they sleep. Like, this is cool,
Yeah, we went on December 7th, this past December, for his birthday with a couple of his buddies. And it was the first time that I had ever been there that they opened up other areas that they don't typically have open to the public, that required, because they were doing reenactments. So they actually had like doctors in there performing surgeries. Harbor. Yeah.
Very cool.
And so we got to go into some new places, and he was interested for all like 30 seconds. And he's like, okay, I'm just here because you're talking, and please speed this up.
I mean, it's funny how kids react to anything. Like, so both of my kids were off of school for MLK Day. I was off of work for MLK Day, and we had this opportunity to go into Big Air. It's a trampoline park for kids, right? And so I thought, like, hey, they're closed, we're off. Like, it would be a perfect opportunity to get my kids in there, and we'll film like a family episode together. Cowboy Jack and Cowboy Kate and Cowgirl Addison will go play together and have a great time. And I thought, like, in my adult mind, I was thinking, these two kids are going to walk into this place. It's going to be empty, and they're just going to go bonkers, right? Mm-hmm. No, we walked in there, and there was nobody else in there. They had the music off so we could film, and they didn't know what to do. Like, I was begging them, like, please go jump on that trampoline. Do something. You have a whole play place to yourself. Go crazy. And they're like, but what do we do?
They wanted it to be a madhouse, so that way they had other children to play with.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, they didn't have other kids around, so they didn't know how to act or whatever. Aww. So it was like,
yeah, there's nobody else running and screaming, so I guess I'll just stand silently.
Exactly. Like, if there was 50 other parents in there screaming at their kids and somebody spilled soda on everybody and everything, it would have been their perfect day. Right. Because they had it to themselves. It was.
That's funny. I wonder if the same thing. I'm sure it would. Well, with probably a few exceptions, because they have favorite, like, I don't know what you want to call them. Like, when you have like trampolines, then you have like an area where there's like basketball, and then you have foam pits and stuff like that. Like, what do you call that? Different.
Everything's more enjoyable when you have a buddy. No. I completely can relate to your children.
No, what I'm saying is, like, they have areas. I don't know. Like, I would call it like a venue, or I don't know. Okay. But they would have different spots within there that they would still like run to. They would probably get bored faster, but they're going to be like, oh, I want to go shoot the basketball, or I want to go jump into the foam pit. And then they'll do that 2 or 3 times, and they're like, okay, nobody's here now.
Can't you picture Cash saying, I don't know what to do? That would be 100% him standing in an empty facility.
Yeah, and then I would run up behind him and pick him up and throw him in. And then
he'd be like, I still don't know what to do.
But like at that bounce place, like they have a mechanical bull that's geared for kids, right? Like it's surrounded by an inflatable thing, whatever. And we're the fakest cowboy family in the world. Like, I'm not a real cowboy. That's my biggest fear is like these people call me up and say, hey, do you want to come film on our ranch? We can put you on a horse and all this. And I'm like, oh God, can you teach me how to ride it? Like, I don't.
Is there cowboy stolen valor?
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm Cowboy Jack is because when we started it out, my son was obsessed with Toy Story. Okay. That was like what he really gravitated to was Woody. That was his hero. So I was like, well, I have cowboy boots, I have a hat, but I need a new one. And I was just like, I could like simulate Woody and maybe he would like it.
Right.
that's how I ended up being Cowboy Jack. And I mean, of course, my real name is John, but Cowboy John sounded super lame, so we went with Jack. And but so like we did a Christmas lights thing where they had a just this barrel suspended by 4 ropes, and the kids got on there and they shook them all around and they rode it, and my kids loved that. So I was like, man, a mechanical bull, this is going to be insane for them. And so we go up to the mechanical bull and we get a guy to come operate it for us. And my daughter gets up there once, falls off, and she's completely over it. My son refuses to get on it. And I did it once and it was terrible. But like, it's just funny, like because there was nobody else around. If their friends had been in there with them and stuff, they probably would have been nonstop.
Right. Their friends would have been there cheering them on.
Yeah. But with dad, it's like,
So your daughter's more adventurous than your son? Is that what I'm picking up?
Second born child rings very true for this one. Like, most dads fear for their daughters growing up and dating and stuff. And I'm not worried for her at all. Like, she is tougher than nails. I think she gets it from her mother. I love you, Andrea, but she has no fear, and I don't think she's going to take any crap off of anybody ever.
No, that's perfect. I love that.
That's Chloe. I mean, it's kind of the same way.
100%.
We went to it was like an adventure park. It was like, it had the high rope course and all that stuff. And Cooper, the oldest, had no interest in doing it. He was forced into doing it and didn't want to do anything extra. He just wanted to get through it and be done. Whereas Chloe, who was way too small, I mean, like, she was just barely able to reach for everything, and she was powering through it. If you could have let her go through it 4 or 5 times, she probably would have.
Yep, that's the little ones, man. That's even me as an adult. I mean, I'm sure you guys can relate to this too. Like, I'm more risk adverse than I've ever been in my life. Like, when I was a kid, you fall off your bike, you rip all the skin off your entire leg, and the next day you forget about it. Now, like, if I sleep weird, my neck hurts for 2 weeks.
Yes. So we had our first snow week last week, and it was the first time where I had
2 weeks ago.
Okay. Whatever. A week and a half ago. We have to be very specific, even though it doesn't matter. Anyways, so it was the first time in my life that I'm at the old age of thinking, if I go outside and I slip, I might actually break a hip. Whereas, a couple years ago, I would just bounce off my butt and get back up again. But no, I'm a ripe old age where I might break a hip. That's insane to think about already. It's
such a weird thing getting old. Like, I'm not old. I think I'm older than you guys. I'm 40. But I think about stuff like that. Like, if I eat dinner and I get some weird indigestion, I'm like, surely that's not like a heart attack or something, but that's a real thing. I have a friend who broke a hip and he's 39, and it's like, man, that can really happen. I guess so.
Exactly.
So I grew up in the Midwest where it snowed and we had snow and ice all the time. So I'm perfectly used to slipping.
Yeah. But again, slipping 10 years ago in the Midwest versus now at your ripe old almost 40, you might actually break something. It's a completely, just because you've done it before doesn't mean it's not ever going to happen again. I literally ran myself over with my vehicle 2 years ago.
Can I put that in this?
And now if I did it, I probably would have actually broken my ankle, whereas it just rolled over my leg and I'm okay.
Put that clip in here? Can I put the clip in here? I have it still.
I think we need to
Sure, whatever. Yes. Whatever. Literally the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
It's security camera footage from above the garage door. And she had pulled into the driveway and was on the phone. And she didn't put her car in park, but it was the hill start assist was holding her there. So she got out and
I was not on the phone, but okay.
Something, whatever. So she gets out and then she reached back in to turn it off instead of getting back in. Since it wasn't in park, it just rolled down the driveway. And it's not like a super steep hill, but it's steep enough. And so she's trying to keep the dog away. The dog's running around on leash. She's trying to keep the dog away, and she kind of falls, and the front driver's side wheel rolls right over her leg as it rolls into the driveway.
Jeez. And no broken bones or anything? Just
she popped right back up and came inside and told me, don't look.
Thank you so much for telling the story completely inaccurately. But
close.
No, that was completely wrong.
It was the hill start assist, though.
It's completely wrong.
Hill start assist.
Doesn't matter. And I was making sure to be very quiet, jumped up, ran off after my vehicle to make sure it didn't hit anybody else's property, and jumped in and parked it and turned off my vehicle properly.
Gets real in the driveway, don't it?
Yeah. So, how did you decide to, start this and turn it into a profession?
Man, it really, like, it started out like kind of a practical joke slash banter between my wife and I. When the pandemic hit, my son was like 2.5, maybe 2. And we were always those parents like, oh, we're not going to let him watch TV or whatever. And then, of course, I started working from home, and my wife was, we were all just stuck breathing each other's air. And so we were like, all right, this TV band's got to stop. And we turned on the TV for him, and there's a bunch of really good shows out there, but the ones that he gravitated to were just, I don't know, we weren't crazy about them. And I had a lot of hard opinions about kids shows back then. I don't think I have those same really hard opinions. I think there's a lot of different styles of kids shows out there for a lot of different types of kids, and I think they all have their place. But back then I was like, we're not watching, this and this and this. And I kept talking about it. My wife finally was like, if you care so much, why don't you make one yourself? And we had bought a GoPro to film. Our son was old enough to like have fun unwrapping presents on Christmas finally. So we, had that camera, and I just said like, well, fine. If you think I can make a show, I'll do it. And so we literally we just went to a pond in our neighborhood, and she filmed me doing some stuff there. And I learned how to edit by watching YouTube videos, and we didn't put it online. It was just for us. And my son loved it, but I think he loved it because it was me. Yeah. I mean, if you watch that first episode really closely, it's funny because like my son was he wasn't at daycare, but he was at home. But we actually had our daughter, who was like 5 months old at the time, with us in a stroller. So Andrea's filming me while pushing a stroller. There's a couple times when Addison just goes nuts and starts crying, and we couldn't get the audio out and everything. But we made that, and she showed it to all, her friends and their kids. And I thought they all liked it because it was Mr. John, but she just persisted on me, and I'm grateful that she did. Because of the pandemic, we were able to she reached out to the local children's museum and was like, hey, y'all are closed down. Can we come in and film? And they're like, sure, we don't have anything else going on. And so we made like 3 or 4 of them. And my career employment, what I do, for my living is industrial heating sales, industrial electric heat tracing and chemical plants and everything. And it's a pretty rough and gruff, construction, cutthroat world. And she's telling me she wants to put me online wearing a cowboy hat and a leather vest and these boots and stuff. And I'm like, nah, we're not. Like these guys, I'll never hear the end of it if they don't take me in the parking lot and give me Irish sunglasses, And so finally I give in, and we put it online, and it took off. I mean, the thing about it was we had never laughed so uncontrollably as a couple before we started filming this stuff together. I mean, because it's unscripted, it's raw, we don't know what we're doing. And so sometimes I'll walk up to something and I'm trying to explain it, and I'll just say the most ridiculous thing, like, oh, look, it's a coffee thinger, or something ridiculous like that, and we'll blow up laughing. So we had fun with it, and that was the important part, is that it kept us going, because it's oddly enough our little, like a date breakfast for us, because we do it on weekends. And so we'll have somebody watch the kids for a couple of hours, and we'll go film an episode early in the morning before somewhere opens, and then go have breakfast together, and then come home, and it's back to parenting. But it's like our little weird escape. It's the weirdest way to spend time as a couple, but hey, you got to get it where you can get it,
Kudos to your wife for making it happen, though.
Yeah, she's a very good motivator. I need that in my life because I'm not a very organized person.
Have you been able to make the transition to making it like your full-time job, or is it still?
No. I mean, I have I'm really grateful for my professional career, and reached levels I never expected imaginable. So I think Cowboy Jack will always remain a hobby, but it's a true passion project. We get stressed out if we don't have something to put out for the weekend, and it's a constant grind. We try to have 4 in backlog, but just because we have them in backlog doesn't mean we'll get them edited in time. And I don't know. We probably spend too many calories stressing over it, but it's, the true passion project.
So I would imagine that a lot of your content, at least though, is evergreen. Like you can release it kind of anytime.
I try to make it that way. Of course, we dive into like Christmas specials and, Easter. We're not doing a Valentine's one this year, but Halloween is a big one. We try to dive into those, but 9 times out of 10, everything we make, we try to like keep it like, if there's Christmas tree, like we're filming in December and there's like Christmas trees everywhere, we try to like work around those. So,
Yeah.
What about the guys that you work with? Did they ever bust you?
oh, I mean, yeah, everybody knows about it. And in fact, I went to an industry seminar last week, and I went to sign in, and I didn't recognize the rep for the company that was putting it on. I hadn't met her. I hadn't seen her in person in a couple of years. And I walked up to the little kiosk to get my badge, and she was like, "Your name?" And I was like, "John Havard." And she was like, "Do you want me to put Cowboy Jack on your tag?" And I was like, "What, Rachel?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "How do you know about that?" And she goes, "I think a lot more people know about it than you think."
That's
That's
funny.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. Like I've been out in California. Like last year, I was out in California giving a lunch and learn to an engineering firm out there, and this guy in the crowd was like, probably my age, maybe a little bit younger, and he kept making strange, like staring at me in a weird way the whole time. And he came up to me afterwards, and he's like, "Man, I know you from somewhere. Have we worked on a project before?" And I was like, I've been with my company for 10 years. And he's like, "Well, I've been here for 6, and we did this project, this. I was like, "No." And finally, I just asked him, I was like, "How old are your kids?" And he's like, "Well, I have a 5-year-old. And I was like, "Is there any chance they watch Cowboy Jack?" And he's like, "Oh." And so right
That's
there in the
awesome.
it was so cool because like right there in the conference room, like everybody's eating their food and throwing their trash away and stuff after we got done. And I was like, "Hey man, come over here." And we made a little shout out video for his kid right there together.
That's
So
awesome.
it's fun. I mean, yeah, I get busted for it and everything, but at the end of the day, like I don't think anybody can fault. Like it's goofy, it's fun, but at the end of the day, like if I can give kids something to watch that actually teaches them something,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I tried,
Yeah, kudos.
Yeah. And like kudos to you guys. Like we tried, like we had, this. We had some serious issues with the show about, 2 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And in order to try and bridge the gap and fund it in a different way, I tried making a podcast for, adults. And for me, like that was just, it didn't have the secret sauce. Like I was going through the motions. I had a great setup. We had studio access to a really successful podcaster's studio, and he just gave it to us carte blanche, like use it whenever you want. And all the stars were aligned to make it really cool. I just didn't have fun doing it. You guys, like when I watch you guys cutting up together and the banter back and forth, it reminds me of me and my wife talking, but my wife would never agree to be on camera. I mean, you guys have the exact same dynamic. You're the good looking one. And, but you're okay being on camera. My wife is the good looking one.
I hate every second of it.
But you
I
don't
100% do this for him. I work full time. I'm a full time mom, and I do this for him. As you said, you and your wife do the show together. That is your time together. This is 3 times a week that we spend together, and that's it. I'm 100% doing it for him, not because of any desire on my part.
But it doesn't come off that way.
I hate being on camera. I don't want to put makeup on. It was not my idea. What are you talking about?
2 years ago, a year and a half ago, you said we should do a podcast.
No, you were complaining about other people's podcasts and how stupid they were. And I said basically the same thing that your wife apparently said to you, which was just make one yourself if you can do it better.
See, but what I just started right there, that's exactly why your show is going to be a success, because that's what people love. It's real, it's raw, it's hilarious. But that's what I missed when I was making my podcast. I would bring in like other dad guests, and they were funny guys, and we would try things, but like my heart wasn't in it, and so it was just So I'm good with people this tall,
Yeah. Have you ever
That's my preferred demographic as well. I like my small people.
Have you ever had any issues with people like straight up stealing your content or copying your name or anything like that?
Not my
Cowgirl
no,
Jack.
yeah, no, I haven't had anybody like take my likeness or anything. We've had, there's a lot, it's a free world and anybody can do anything they want. There's been a couple people that I felt like have mimicked some things along the way, but I mean, it's all about the kids, what the kids want. And the really cool thing I found about YouTube, like my day job is a competitive environment. Like I would never talk to my competitors. We have a lot of like pre-bid meetings where we're sitting across the table from each other. And so it's a very niche market that I work in. So we know each other, we know about each other. We try to, understand what the other one's thinking and stuff, but it's still very, very much competitive and not a friendly situation. YouTube is like the complete opposite, or I would say the creator world is complete opposite, because like it's not a competition between you and anyone else. It's like you watch others to see what you could improve on, and you make friends with those people so you can swap, war stories. And like I've got a buddy that started about the same time as me, Handyman Hal. He's actually a youth minister from South Carolina. And we started about the same time. We've gone through a couple of the same programs together. I know there's the on-camera guy, the handyman Hal. His actual name is Sean, and then kind of my wife of that show is a guy named Jason, and I love them both. And we started at the same time, and they have gone absolutely bonkers. Like I'm sitting at around, we're getting close to 200,000 subscribers, and we get about 40 million views a month. Handyman Hal, I don't know how many views a month he's at, but he just hit the 1 million mark on subscribers. Like he is going absolutely bonkers. And of course I'm jealous of that, but like I promote him at every chance I can get because I believe in what they're doing. They have a similar, goal as we do, and it's obviously successful. So like I study him to see what I can improve on. Like I think it's a cool dynamic.
Do you think that because it was AdSense, right? That they canceled your account or something like that, if I remember right?
Yeah, they claimed we had invalid traffic and we had, issues for, I don't remember. Actually, I do remember very well. I try not to think about it because it was a very painful time in life, but it was almost 1 year to the day that we were, permanently banned from that situation.
What happened?
YouTube and Google AdSense, they thought that his traffic was illegitimate, so they closed out or canceled his AdSense account, so he couldn't monetize any of his videos. He couldn't make any money off of it, and that's
Yeah,
how
and I mean it's hard
got.
to like I'm not a genius tech person. Like I'm good in front of the camera and that's about it. So like diving in and trying to figure out what the traffic was. I mean, I will say we had a huge spike right before that happened. So I don't, they could have been justified. I don't know. Like we never got a lot of clarity from them on that, but I think a lot of that, behind the scenes workings of that is in essence to protect the creator community so that you don't have some bot, generating bogus views and making ad money for somebody who doesn't even really put effort into it.
That's
But sometimes it can burn the good guys.
Yeah, it's insane if you think about it, because realistically, what that means is if somebody wanted to target you specifically, they could go and hire a bot farm to go send traffic to your account, and then Google and YouTube are going to be like, "Oh, it's your fault. It's your problem. We're going to cut you off." Like that's crazy, especially if you never did anything wrong. The fact that they attributed it to you is strange as well. Like that would, I don't even know how you would figure that out. If
yeah, and I don't.
if I
like I
send a
said,
bunch of- go ahead.
I didn't get any clarity as to what the problem was and what the solution was, because obviously, things got fixed, and maybe the us getting everything back to correct was them identifying what the square root of the problem was. I don't know. All I know is I'm grateful that we're back, and but it's look, like kids content doesn't pay the same as adults content. There's a federal regulation, COPPA or COPPA, and it's to protect kids from direct marketing online. And basically, like, if Mattel comes out with a new toy, they can go buy ad space on YouTube, but they can't say they want those ads to be filled specifically on, little boys from this age to this age. And it's all to protect kids. And I agree with it. Like, as a parent, I don't want just constant toy ads screaming in my kid's face. Although it still does happen, because I've got 3 mini brands eggs sitting on my kitchen counter right now that the kids just had to have because they saw them on a YouTube show. So we won't talk about that. But anyways,
Yeah.
I agree with it, but it does limit your ability to monetize as a children's creator. But that being said, you had your bets. You spread the love. We're on every streaming platform that'll have us, and we're grateful for all of them.
Have you taken on direct sponsors, or are you relying entirely on AdSense and that kind of stream?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, like, we're not changing our lives based on any income from Cowboy Jack. So it's it's not, it basically just covers our cost of filming. And like, if we actually accounted for the time that we put into it and everything, we'd be constantly in the red, which is kind of, I mean, but we get asked about sponsorships and stuff like that from time to time, and I just don't know how to navigate those. Like, I would love to figure it out so that, we could buy new cameras and new audio equipment and stuff like that. But every time somebody asks me that, I'm like, or they ask me, like, what's your rate sheet? And I'm like, I can barely spell rate sheet. I don't know.
We have the opposite problem. Nobody's reached out to us yet.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
She's like, please, please, please.
No, I'm saying don't quit your day job.
Oh,
I work full time, and
so do I.
Okay.
I spend so much time editing and working on this show too. So, like, sitting in front of a computer is, a lot of times I hate it, because I have the hardware to be able to do something and make something really great, but I don't have the knowledge for editing and cutting together something that, like, is super flashy. I know the bare minimum, but I have the software. I pay for the software.
Right.
And then I sit there and I'm like, I can kind of just hack this together, because we don't really have a lot of followers yet, and it won't really matter. So do I really need to learn how to do it now, or can I keep pushing it back?
Well, that's like I could go out and buy, a $3,000 or $5,000 camera and gimbal and boom mic and all that stuff and everything. But at the end of the day, like, I think it's the content that matters more than, obviously if you have horrible video, that's one thing. And I think audio is actually more important than video. But like, for us, like, we filmed everything on GoPros for the first 3 years. And then we were like, hey, let's step it up. Let's get this really cool. Like, let's spend some money. We didn't go crazy, but we bought a Sony ZV-E10, whatever that means. And the video quality, like the picture quality, is drastically better than a GoPro. At the same time, it is shaky as all get out. And like, we've tried gimbals, we've tried, like, these things that hold them and all that stuff, and it's just beyond our capabilities. And so right now we've got shaky camera, and we're thinking about going back to either GoPro or trying out this DJI product. But
I wonder if it's just a setting in the camera, because I mean, even phones these days have optical image stabilization. So I would imagine, I don't know how much you paid for it, but I would imagine any several hundred to several $1,000 camera's got to have some sort of image stabilization.
it does, but with that particular device, it's more important for the lens to have stabilization in it, apparently. And those lenses, like, after we bought we got a creator set or whatever that they target us with.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out great. So then we got a specific lens that was supposed to balance us out really well. And it helps, but it's huge and bulky. And then we bought a really nice DJI gimbal that, like, the camera sits in, and it you can move it every way, and it's super stable, and people do incredible things with it. At the same time, we're still 2 people with full-time other employment that don't really have time to master the craft of using the gimbal.
Right.
And so the simple solution is just to go back to either GoPro or this DJI Osmo with a built-in gimbal. And the clarity of the video may suffer a little bit, but I don't think it matters.
What does your wife do?
She's a dental hygienist and a full-time Cowboy Jack editor.
So she works like 8 to 5, Monday through Friday?
Yeah, I mean, she's pared it down since we've had, 2 kiddos and stuff. So it's more like on the temp scale now, but
Okay.
still, I mean, just managing 2 kids, one in daycare and one in elementary is a lot. And then
Just
all
wait.
this,
It gets crazier, especially once they start doing after school activities. And
oh my God, yeah. We signed up for spring baseball and it's February and we have practice tonight.
Baseball is the one sport that I will not sign my children up for. That is like a 4-day a week until 9:30 at night event. Not down for that.
So I was always the world's worst baseball player, but I love the sport so much. I can't help but I try to get my son as involved as he wants to be. We sat out one season and it broke my heart. And now he said he'd do it again, but
Hey,
and
if
he's
you're
such
for
a good
it, then
little
go for
baller.
it.
yeah, so yesterday, for example, is as an example of a day, once the kids get a little bit older, we have the oldest is in high school, but he's in an early college. So he has like an even weirder school schedule. He goes really late and gets out late. So yesterday we filmed. I edited today's episode so we filmed 2 episodes. I edited one, got it published last night on all the platforms, social media stuff, then left from here at about 4:00 with the youngest, picked up the oldest from school, went to the vet to pick up my dog's medicine, went to take them to get their haircuts, went to dinner, then went to basketball practice at 7 p.m. and got back here at 8:15 p.m.
We talk about this all the time. Like we're like, okay, so this month, like our target, we're gonna buckle down, tighten the belt, and we're gonna eat at home. We're not gonna eat out like every meal. But like once you do all these things, who has time to cook like a decent meal? It's ridiculous. Like
if we had unlimited resources, she would just live in the kitchen baking and cooking. She'd be in there, she'd be making a
No,
different...
if I was a stay-at-home mom again and I didn't have to work full-time, then I would be living in the kitchen.
That dream sailed years ago, decades ago.
we're bringing it back to the classics. Like we've been eating hamburger steaks lately just because they're so easy to make. It's
Yep.
like I'm thinking back to like, okay, what did we eat as kids? Is that somewhat healthy? Let's do that.
Yeah, they're on a healthy kick this week. I'm skipping that. I'm still doing my normal thing.
The children requested to do an entire 7-day stretch of being as healthy as possible. I'm letting them lead. They're in charge of meal prep. They're in charge of how many times we go to the gym. It's all on them. So
The youngest and I started running last week. So today will actually be our second time running because he had a game on Saturday and then practice yesterday. So recovery time between each. And he's only 9. So it's actually funny because we basically have the same endurance.
Yeah. Don't worry, you'll catch up to it.
We did a mile and it took us about 22 minutes or something like that on Thursday. It was Thursday, right? Yeah.
I don't know. The girls and I were at the gym, weren't we, when you did that?
I thought you were Charlotte's practice. Well, it doesn't
Something.
matter.
Anyways.
So yeah, we went, and it happened to be like the first nice day last week too. It was like 70, 75, something like that.
Yeah.
So we were out there, we were running, and about halfway through what I had planned out for us to run, I was like, this sucks, doesn't it? He's like, yes.
Running is the worst. I would lift weights anytime over running.
I like it. It just takes me like there was a time before Hurricane Harvey hit here that I was planning on running a marathon, and I ran a half marathon on a Saturday, just as like a trial, and I was feeling really confident about it. And then Hurricane Harvey came in, and we had to evacuate. And I just decided I'm going to eat all the foods and never run again. But like once you get in the rhythm of running every day, it becomes like therapeutic. But that's like
I see some of these people out here running that I see like every morning or every evening because school drop off, school pickup. You always see the same people pushing a stroller, same people walking a dog, same people running. And all the people that I see running all the time never look like they're having fun.
That's true. That's true.
They look like they're just pushing. Even the ones that look fit and healthy, they just look like they're like, I just have to do this.
It's their RBF face. They're just powering through. Who runs with a big old grin on their face other than a psychopath?
When I go to the gym and lift weights, I'm smiling the entire time.
No,
I'm like,
you're
giddy.
not.
Oh, yeah,
We used to work out together all the time. You never once smiled. You were like, that's not a smile. That's the opposite of a smile.
Somebody could offer me $100,000 to go to the gym every day for a year, and I probably wouldn't make it. Like, lifting weights to me is like the worst thing. I've never been able to do it.
I guess it's like running in some ways, where once you get into it, really it's about figuring out the movements, like actually identifying your correct posture and everything like that. And then once you do it, you're like, oh, and then it clicks, and then you start hitting higher reps and higher weights, and you start to feel good about yourself. You start looking in the mirror and you're like, oh, all right, this is cool. And then you get off of it for a while and you're like, I don't want to go back because I've already lost all that strength.
That's my thing. I'll be like on a machine and be like, hey, this isn't that bad. Like, I'm really liking it. And I'm like doing bicep curls, and somebody comes up to me and be like, actually, that's a squat rack. Like.
Well, I have a completely different question. You live in Texas, correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Andrew is obsessed with this idea that moving to Texas would save us a lot of money. So please clarify how much your property taxes are and what the average price of a home is, because I said property taxes are extremely high there as compared to here in North Carolina.
They are, but at the same time, like, I feel like it kind of levels out. Like, unless you go to the extreme of like Colorado or California, somewhere where the property taxes and state income taxes are both really high. But like here in Texas, there's no state income tax, but you do pay quite a bit in property taxes. And before the pandemic, I mean, it wouldn't be crazy to go out and get a 3,000 square foot new construction home for, $300,000. Like, it was really affordable back then. Since the pandemic, prices have kind of gone crazy a little bit, and I feel like it's not quite as affordable as it once was. But I mean, it's all different. I mean, I feel like North Carolina is actually a pretty affordable state in the scale of things.
Where we are in Wilmington, it's not so much.
Where we are in the Wilmington area and outside of Wilmington is still more affordable than everywhere that we were looking in the Texas area for the average price home and property taxes combined.
What would that 300,000 or 3,000 square foot house run you right now?
$600K
at least, and that's what it is here now too. And their property taxes are more.
But you don't have any state income tax.
Okay, but that's not what the argument was. You have said that the home prices are still lower and the property taxes are lower. And I said you are incorrect on both of those.
What city are you in or near?
So I'm in Montgomery, which is about 60, 70 miles north of Houston.
Okay.
Like, if you obviously, if you go into the Houston Metroplex, you're going to pay through the nose. And the same is true of Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio. But there's like a lot of, I mean, Texas is such a huge state. Like, you can literally live, on the outskirts of Houston, like I do. Montgomery, there's, Columbus, there's Mont Belvieu. There's a ton of different areas you can go to and get much more bang for your buck, but still be in close proximity to those big city amenities. Like, to get into town is like an hour. So we took our kids to Monster Jam at the NRG Stadium this weekend. It took us like an hour to get down there, hour to get home.
How'd your son think about Monster Jam?
Oh man, it's always a big hit. It was cool this year because we got to film with one of the Monster Jam drivers.
Oh, really?
Colt Stevens drives Thunder Roris, and he has a shop close to our home here in Montgomery. It's over in Magnolia. But he owns Texas Truck Works, and so we went over there and filmed with him, making these huge custom Jeeps and monster trucks and stuff. And then we got to go see him drive, and so that was a big kick for us.
That's really cool.
It always amazes me when they're able to do stuff like that inside of a football stadium, because when you're watching a football game and you see people on the field looks large. But then when you're talking about a monster truck doing backflips and spinning sideways and going off ramps, a football field is not very big.
So like I'm a bit of a monster truck nerd myself, and I follow them on social media. And some, like, NRG is a pretty big stadium. Like, it's one of, I'd say it's probably one of the biggest in the NFL. I can't verify that because I've never been to any others, but it just seems really large. It's like the same size as Jerryland, the Cowboy Stadium up north. I have been there.
I think those are like
But
80, 85 something thousand.
Your guess is as good as mine. This thing was full on Saturday or on Sunday.
I bet.
But they film at like, you know, not film. They put on shows at like some of these stadiums out in, you know, all over the country. And sometimes these places, it looks like a basketball court they're performing on. Like and they get those things, like you said, like 20, 30, 40 feet in the air. Like there was this one that the monster truck came off of a jump and he was rolling. And I literally thought he was just going to crash into the thing. But at the last minute, he kicks it into high gear and starts rolling his tires so it spinned him, and he rolled the opposite direction. Like, these guys are insane how well they drive those things.
Yeah. I don't know if they've ever, it'd probably be more difficult to do in an indoor stadium, but they turned the Rose Bowl into a NASCAR track like last year, the year before, I believe. And I'm like, how do you feel? Like, where are your pits? How do you do this? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. They try to cram as much as humanly possible into these stadiums, and they're really good at it.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have the opposite where they, I think it was Tennessee and somebody else a couple years ago, they played in Talladega. They played a football game, or Bristol. Well, I don't remember. They played a football game in the middle of the infield of the NASCAR track. You talk about being far away when we were in the suites at Michigan. Imagine being like 2 to 3 times even farther away and trying to watch the game.
What's the point?
They wanted to have the highest attendance because it's like 200,000 people can fit in that.
So everything is about making a world record.
Yeah.
Lame.
Pretty much. They had George Strait play at Kyle Field at A&M this year, and there was no rhyme or reason to that. He didn't need to. It was just to break a world record.
Dumb. All of it's dumb.
But hey, Beyonce just got a Grammy for country music. Right?
We just talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, that's what today's episode is about. Yeah. That's funny.
Have you been invited to any of the like creator YouTube, what are they called, streamies, stuff like that?
No, I've never. I went to a YouTube Kids event out in California, but that wasn't any kind of awards thing or anything.
I wonder what so one of the questions that I brought up yesterday when we were talking about the Grammys is like, what's the requirement to even be invited? Even if you aren't receiving an award or even nominated for an award, what is the cutoff? Do you have to have, X amount of followers? Do you have to have a certain number of downloads? And I'd be curious to know, when or if you get invited, what those numbers would be.
Do you have a large social media following?
Not really. Cowboy Jack has nobody wants to go on social media to watch their kids' shows.
Well, I was wondering if there was a correlation between being invited. If you have like a social media presence.
But it would be all parents that would be following them. The kids wouldn't typically, because they're, for one, unless their parents let them have Instagram as a 4-year-old. I'm sure the people
I've heard of it.
do.
But I do have someone on my friends list. I have so many random friends because of Cowboy Jack on my personal Facebook page. And I saw somebody post that they went to the Grammys, and she posted this long thing about it. I didn't get a chance to read it yet. She actually has a really cool podcast that I've been on as well. But I will find out and I'll let you know.
Well, if you ever get invited, let me know.
I don't see Cowboy Jack going to the Grammys, and I'm definitely wearing my full costume. I wouldn't wear I don't know if y'all saw the nudie suit or whatever that craziness was.
Oh yeah, Kanye's wife.
Bianca.
Yeah, my wife was
something like that.
Yeah, my wife was like, "Did you see somebody wore like a naked costume?" And I was like, "No." And she showed it to me. I was like, "That's not a naked costume. She's just naked. That's crazy."
Yeah, I jokingly, or not jokingly, I asked her, because she sent me a picture of it, and then I saw Dave Portnoy posted the video of it, and I was like, "Do you think maybe there's a possibility that somebody? It's like those One Piece where it's like a woman wore a one piece, but it's like a man's body, and it's like all hairy and everything." Have you ever seen those?
You think? Yeah. So you're saying maybe it was a farce?
No. Kanye posted the picture of the dress before the Grammys.
With him
and then,
wearing it?
No, and then it got deleted. It was laying on a bed or something. And the number one comment that was like pinned to the top and has now been deleted was somebody saying, that's the same stuff that is the outside of an onion skin. It's like that super crepey, just
I
like,
was gonna say, what is it like? It looks like saran wrap laying on the bed.
basically.
That's wild.
No.
I wonder if anything is ever going to come of that, because you have to think, when they broadcast that on TV, there is a
Like a 2
TV
second
rate.
delay.
No, there's a TV rating, like TVG,
because
PG,
it's
whatever.
obviously tailored to the entire world. Yeah.
So if you're sitting there with your kids who might be interested in a music award show for some reason, or maybe they have a school project, stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
And they're
A lot
sitting
of
there
that.
watching this, and they're like, "Why is there a naked woman on TV?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you take live cable, like I don't even have cable anymore, but like a live TV, you watch real TV, and the commercials you get on it, and also like the content you get on it. Like when we were growing up, you would never hear like someone say ass or anything like that. Like it didn't happen on TV. And now I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to hear an F-bomb.
Yeah, I know for movies, for PG-13, you can get away with one for every hour of runtime, if I remember correctly. I don't know about shit though. So it feels like there's tiers of words. The only words that I edit out of our videos or out of the transcript of our videos are fucking shit. I leave ass, I leave bitch, I leave whatever else we might say in that specific day. And I don't know if it even matters. I know that there used to be like the 7-second thing, and then it was a 30-second thing at the beginning of the videos. But I told Dave Reardon, if you know who he is, you do know who he is?
I think so, yeah.
So when he was talking about why they had to make a change on YouTube a couple weeks ago, or why they had to watch on Pepperbox for the explicit version or something like that, I was like, dude, I actually watched Brandon Herrera video one time, and he kept saying fuck. And I was like, I'm curious. So I turned on captions on my TV, and all they did was censor the word in the transcript. And I was like, boom, that's what I'm doing. Then we can get away with it.
But I have to remind him to do that before every episode. Don't forget to delete it off of the transcript. Otherwise, we're going to get banned.
Yep. Yeah. I've never had any bad words in Cowboy Jack.
I would hope not.
It's not really.
There's been a lot recorded, but none of them made the final cut. Like we had a really fun time at a trampoline park where it was this thing called walk the wall. You're supposed to jump off of this wall, bounce twice, and then jump up another wall. Well, my big self didn't make it up the second wall, and my natural instinct was to kick my feet, and I totally just shattered my big toe, right? And so my wife was standing there filming me, and I get up there and I kick and I go, nope. And I fell down, and I'm like, and she goes, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I just broke everything in my foot. And she's cracking up laughing. And I just I got mad that she was laughing at me because I was actually hurt and she didn't know I was hurt. So a lot of big words exchanged there.
Aww.
But
that's funny. I get in places a lot of times where I'm around. So I'm a basketball coach for Cash's team. And there are a lot of times when I hold back what I would normally say in front of the kids, because we cuss around the kids. They don't repeat it. They don't go to school. They don't get in trouble. And they understand, that they will get in trouble if they say it in front of other people or whatever. And so I'll be out there coaching and something will happen. I'll trip or whatever. They don't clean the floor where we practice at, so it's always slippery. And I'll slip or something like that, and I'll say something. I'm like, did any of the parents hear me? And it's like a church.
Yes,
place.
It's called Halo Hoops, and they pray before every game. So make sure to not drop the F-bomb.
Yeah.
That's upward basketball for us, and I'm familiar with the predicament.
Normally, though, I can turn it on and off. When I'm in a professional setting, I can be professional.
Okay.
I wait for the other people. I wait for the other people to get out of line, and then I join them.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
there has to be a token cursing starter, right?
Yep.
But once the starter goes, then everybody's fair game.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Well, do you have any other specials or things, projects that you're working on that you might want to talk about or let us in on?
No, I mean we're just chugging along. We got a couple of new streaming platforms hopefully coming online soon, and we're just trying to save the world one episode at a time. We've had some really big opportunities for filming really cool stuff come at us, but just because of work and everything, it doesn't seem like it's going to work out. But we always end up the year with the couple of really crazy, amazing ones that we get super excited about that no kids actually watch.
As long as you're having fun while you're doing it and you're enjoying being with your wife while you're doing it. So that's all that matters ultimately.
I would definitely say one of the things that we've learned since we started this is that having to play the platform, not just YouTube, but all the platforms game, like sticking within the boundaries and growing an audience and things like that, it makes it so unfun and stressful because we can't talk about what we want to talk about because we're not big enough. People aren't looking for us. They're looking for you. They're looking for our guests, or they're looking for specific topics, but they're not looking for Andrew and Nona.
Yeah, but they will. I mean, but it's hard to make sure you fit into that box properly and hope, you probably know more about the algorithms than I do, but they're ever changing and learning, and I don't know. I mean, it's just a game.
as I tell all of my clients in the last year or so, maybe a little bit longer, I'll have a conversation on the phone with them and I'll stop myself. I'll present something as if it's fact, right? And then I'm like, but that could literally change tomorrow. And I'm sorry, I'm telling you, like, I don't make the rules. It works right now, but it might not work when you wake up in the morning, and there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, and like you come across some of those truths early on or whatever, and you hold them near and dear forever, and they may not be true anymore, right?
Yeah.
I had someone tell me like, hey, shorts are crazy important. You have to do shorts. So, okay, I put out shorts every single week religiously, and they never did anything for me. And I talked to somebody else and they said, you don't need to do shorts. Well, then here, like a month ago, like our whole goal for 2024 was to try to hit 100,000 subscribers, which we did. I got the plaque right over here. Super exciting, super grateful for that. That happened in September. Thank you. And that was my main goal, just hit 100,000. And then out of nowhere in November, December, we had shorts go absolutely bonkers on our channel. And we're sitting right under 200,000 subscribers. All right. Like shorts don't do anything for you financially. I mean, they don't hurt you, but it's not the same monetization as long form content, but like they can be absolutely explosive as far as subscriber growth and reach. I mean, 40 million views in a month was crazy. And so it's like, you get these little nuggets. Like somebody told me, don't ever post a link on Facebook.
Yep.
But sometimes you just have to. And like right now I'm promoting a special needs rodeo that we're doing next month here in Montgomery County.
Send us the link. I'll put it in the description. Send us a link. I'll put it in the description for this.
Sure. Yeah. It's really cool event. They make it all inclusive and accessible for all different ability levels, so it's really great, and people sign up and come out and everything. And it's like, I want to share that on Facebook, of course, but at the same time, like I don't want to post the link, but then I do post the link. And I think because of the type of content it is, it just finds its way through that hole.
I think it also depends on the type of content and who you're trying to grow your audience with, because for us, nobody wants to jump into a 30 to 60 minute long episode and find something funny. They want to see what the funny parts are before they watch the episode.
Agreed. Yeah.
For a kid that wants to watch Cowboy Jack, the kid's just going to watch Cowboy Jack. It doesn't matter if it's long form or short form. They might watch the short form video over and over and over again because it makes them laugh, or it's a really Cash, for example, when he finds something that he really likes, he'll watch it on repeat, or he'll show it to us on repeat. So
Yeah, my own kids copy that exact same mechanism. They find something, like there was this lady that ran, like she was talking to her pregnant belly and saying, "What do you want to eat? Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, Whataburger, or whatever." And my kids just think that's the funniest thing, and we watch it at least, I don't know, twice a day for the last 6 months.
That's cute. So is baby number 3 happening?
No. I
Because I
mean,
think that's what they're hinting at.
nah, unless divine intervention occurs, I think I'm good. That's the thing. So the funny thing about me being Cowboy Jack is that I was the youngest in my family and was never around younger kids. I was terrified of babies and children altogether. It's like our friends started having kids and they'd be like, "Hey, you want to hold the baby?" And I'm like, "Oh, keep the little snot factory away from me." That's just how I am. I thought I was going to break them. I didn't want anything to do with any baby or even like little kids, like a 4-year-old. Like, what if they ask me something I don't know how to answer? They're like little geniuses. And what if he's like feeling me out for, how he can, stab me in my back or something? I don't know. I
Oh
just
my
had
gosh.
all these crazy thoughts about kids, right? And then we had been married for a long, I think we had been married like 7 years or 9 years before we actually decided, like, hey, we're hanging out at the bar by ourselves. Like everybody else is at home with their families. Like we're going to die alone. Let's have kids. I think if I had started earlier on in the process, I would have loved to have, 5 of them now, because I know how cool they are and the joy they can bring. But
Kids are
back
not
when,
scary.
no, they're little geniuses that are hilarious and fun and frustrating as all get out. But at the end of the day, it's all amazing. So if I had started at, 25, I would have had 5. But instead, I was holding out this, I don't want to have kids. I don't want, I want to go travel and all those other things that people lie to themselves and say.
There's
And so,
positives and negatives to starting early. I had my first child at 20. I had my last child at 25. I'm 35 now. So if I had waited until now, yes, I would be more financially stable. But at the same time, I'm fine with giving them my 20s and now going to.
And when each of them turns 21,
I'll be 40 when Cooper turns 20.
You'll be able to go out to the bar with them and you won't feel weird about
seeing
it.
I don't know about going to the bar with my kid. I never said I was going to do that.
I'll go to the bar with them.
I
I'll
never
take-
said
I'll
I
buy
was
them
going to
their
do
first beer.
that, but
You have
it's just
to.
a
You have
completely
to.
different experience. Like I kind of grew up with my children, whereas you did have your full 20s and then now you're giving your 40s to your children. So it's just a different experience. There's no right or wrong answer to it, but
Yeah, it's
kids are
just
not
different.
scary.
I think people need to understand, like, it may not ever feel like the money is right or, the financial side of things is right. But when you're a parent, you just figure it out. It doesn't make sense until you're stuck in the predicament, but you always just figure it out, right?
Exactly.
Well, John, I don't want to cut you off because we're having fun here. We'll have to have you back on again, but
I'd love to, man.
we do have to jump off. Anything else that you think people would be interested in checking out, or should we just throw some links to your show?
Yeah, just search Cowboy Jack wherever you search for things, and there I'll be, except I'll be wearing a big goofy hat.
And if you're a parent going to subscribe so that your kids can watch it, leave a
Yeah.
comment on his videos and let them know that we sent you.
Well, they can't because it's kid content. They don't even let us have comments, but
Interesting. Didn't know that.
Oh, I had no idea.
they take away all the good stuff.
So instead, go to his social media and say, "Hey, he's wrong, she's right. Sent me," and I'm just letting you know
There
that
you go.
I can't comment.
Exactly.
right,
Well, thank y'all for having me. I truly enjoy what y'all do. I think y'all are on to great things, and
Appreciate it.
you got a fan in me for life. I love watching y'all bicker and joke about things. It reminds me so much of my own home dynamic, and I love it.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll have you on again real soon.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Have a great day.